All right, we thought we'd take a few minutes just to tell you a little bit about ourselves. So, this is an introduction to the podcast host of A World Intention. So, I will start. I'm Neil Placer. I live in Chattanooga. I am a consultant in the electric utility industry, and I have been married to my wife, Catherine, for 20 years. And we have 3 great children. That's kind of the basic stuff. So, Rob, introduce yourself.
I am Rob McGarvey. I also live in Chattanooga. I am an eye doctor, but I am an ex-forester. So I spent 10 years working in the woods and have spent 15 years working on eyes. I have been married to my wife, Patrina, for 19 and a half years. So we will celebrate 20.
I got you slightly edged out
You
there.
got me by a little bit on that one. So yeah, 23 will be 20 years for us. So we have 4 kids.
Okay, so look, we're just 2 ordinary guys. I mean, I think one question is like, who are these guys? Do these guys have formal seminary education or training? You know, neither of us do. But
No.
like, what would you say to the person? Like, why should I listen to these knuckleheads? Right? What would?
Gosh, I don't even know. I don't know why anyone would want to listen to me. But
I mean, honestly, I mean, like I think there's a lot to be said about. I mean, we've been in. I've been in a lot of good churches over time, but this question actually made me think about how thankful I am for some of the instruction I've received over time, some of the great books, like systematic theology, reading through stuff that like what seminary students read. So I don't know if that qualifies us, but we're certainly going to chat anyway. What would you add?
I mean, I would say I think one of the things is that we tend to maybe overthink certain things, and so when it comes to these deep topics, we have spent time thinking about them.
Yeah, and I'll just pepper in right here. Like one of the reasons I like Rob as a co-host is he just has a interesting way of thinking about things. I've actually called him the Christian Woody Allen, which if people don't know who that is, look him up. And I'm not saying he's like Woody Allen. It's just like Woody Allen had this way of just like asking these great questions, like deep questions, and in such a casual manner. And I think Rob is like that. And so I think it brings a lot of value to this show. But like, which leads into a question of like, why do you want to do this podcast, Rob? I mean, why are you doing this? Why are you spending time?
Well, I've always enjoyed conversations with you, and that's been for almost 9 years. So to be able to actually record some of them has been fun. But I think I have a lot of tension in my life, and I think trying to even just process what that looks like and what to do with it, and how God can be glorified in it is fascinating. So, to hang out with you, Neil, the tension guy, which we've called you for years now, has been a blast.
Yeah. Tension has kind of been my baby, and I don't know. That's not even the right way of describing it. I feel like it's something. I kind of wanted to run away from it for a while. Like I felt like God was nudging me to do something with it. I'm like write a book, do something. Like, no, that's too much work. No one cares. All this stuff. But it's definitely helped. Like, that's why I'm doing this podcast ultimately. Like, I think this is an important concept. I think it's extremely relevant in our times. There's so much conflict. I don't know if it's like this effect of like when you buy a car and then you see that car everywhere, but I swear every podcast I'm listening to, every sermon I listen to, I hear the word tension everywhere. And again,
that's a good analogy.
But I think it's really relevant. And I think ultimately, if this brings value to people, that they don't look at life so miserable, whether they're a believer or not, like if this can give them tools to remember, flip the script, then I'm happy.
Yeah. So Neil, what do you think is something that not a lot of people know about you that maybe they should?
Um, I don't. I really love soccer. I'm a huge soccer fan. I mean, that's kind of. But I love not only watching the game, but coaching the game. The game is like a chess match to me. That's why I really love it. But I don't know what else I would say besides that. I mean, I'm not. Um, I think I have a lot of wacky ideas. Like I have a ton of them. Uh, I think you're thinking about one I've had.
I was kind of wondering about the drive-through milk store or the shorty shirt, but
which we won't tell the listener about now. But yeah, I'm a total ideas guy. Most of them are bad. Hopefully, a few of them are good. So, what about you? What do you think is something unique about you the listener may not know?
Oh wow. Let's see here. Well, I already kind of teased one, but I changed careers at a pretty late age, so I've had two different lives, and in that first life, my wife often teases me that I didn't shower or cut my hair enough, so I guess I was sort of a hippie for a little while. So I don't know. Maybe I'm a reformed hippie now. So
yeah, which actually kind of let me add more color to mine. So I was a collegiate athlete. So I was just thinking about like you and me, and in soccer. So I was just imagine how would that would have hung out? You and me, the hippie and the collegiate athlete. It's like we probably wouldn't have been having these conversations.
No.
But now here we are. So what what do you think is a unique gifting that you think God's given you, like a unique attribute about you?
I think I can see things from a lot of different perspectives really easily. So I think I empathize with people. I mean, that can be good, that can be bad, but I can see a lot of different perspectives. I mean, so
I agree. I think that's again why I like doing this with you, and you definitely have an empathy that I lack. I definitely see that in you. I would actually answer that question kind of similar, but in a different way. That I think a unique attribute God's given me is like the ability to connect strategic dots and like piece things together, look at things from different perspective.
Flow charts.
Yes, but also like being comfortable with the gray. Like you and I are kind of comfortable, which is
both
somewhat
comfortable with
that,
the
but
gray.
that's not a usual attribute. I think most people don't like change or the gray. They want black and white. So yeah, I think that really connects us here in what we're doing.
I'm very thankful that we have people who have listened and are listening, and I'm thankful for that. I think the topic is of tension and of surrender and of how we can grow from that instead of be fearful of it is the key, is the important thing.
Yeah, I agree with you. I hope it makes people more courageous to pursue God, whatever that means for them. Maybe it's being more bold in front of others. Maybe it's just going, you know what, this thing that's conquered me is not going to conquer me anymore. I'm really gonna let God be the number one. I hope that happens. And to the point of connecting with the listener, we've also added an email address. So if you want to reach out to us, we have an email address. It's listed in the show notes, or actually the main podcast notes. It's aworldintention@gmail.com. So it's pretty easy. So if you have thoughts, something's connected, something you want to see more of, reach out to us. We really actually want to hear.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear some ideas of things people would want to listen to us talk about.
So hopefully that gives you a little bit of a intro of who we are, and hopefully makes you feel comfortable. We're just two average guys who love wrestling with theological topics.
I think that summarizes it well.
All right. I hope you guys listen and enjoy it. Take care.